Fallout 5 is a game that will release so far into the future, it is almost incomprehensible to perceive its actual release year. We have to get through both Starfield, its DLC, The Elder Scrolls 6, its DLC, probably several editions of The Elder Scrolls 6, including the one for your Apple smartwatch and barbecue if we're being honest, before we get the fetching game. Obsidian are too busy with the various games they are developing to give us a Fallout spin-off game, so we are stuck waiting millennia for Fallout 5. Anyway, to what I actually want to see in the game, to preface this rant, I will not discuss Fallout 76. As my therapist said, it's not good for my stress levels. But on the other hand, I will state that Fallout 76 killed my parents, murdered my pet Nick's hound, and stole my gaming PC, so there's that. No, I'm not being over the top. Anyway, there are a plethora of options for the setting of this game, and no New Vegas again will not be one of them. Honestly, how are Bethesda supposed to accommodate all the different endings in a sequel to a game that wasn't even made by them and that they have a rough history with? Remember that Metacritic debacle? Just don't mention the number 84 to any Obsidian staff member, or they will burst into tears or maybe call the cops. Can't blame them, really. Bethesda's treatment of Obsidian was Caesar's Legion levels of unnecessarily edgy. Todd Howard is Caesar and Pete Hines is Vulpes and Culta. Leggett Lanius is the adoring fan? I don't know, I'm making this up as I go. But back to the setting for this game. New Orleans is an obvious one, of course. Ghoul jazz bands and irradiated Mardi Gras beads would be ever present, and Rad's infected swamps that you have to trudge through would be everywhere. Although, come to think of it, this could be a problem. I can just see the IGN review saying 7.8 out of 10, too much swamp. Yes, I know they use whole numbers now, but they would make an exception for the sake of meme clicks or something. We could go to Hawaii and attend Ghoul Luau's, which get awkward when the dancers go feral. Chicago, so Fallout. Tactics can become official canon, and I can sleep at night. Detroit, because it's post-apocalyptic already. Damn, I'm funny. Alaska is another setting they could go with. Maybe they could introduce time travel and we could go back to the Battle of Anchorage for real this time, and then most people would rage, quit after realizing they hated Operation Anchorage. Maybe we won't get a Fallout. Alaska. Although knowing Bethesda's grand and irradiating innocence, they would probably make Fallout 5 a cutesy mobile game where you have to collect snowballs to throw at the invading Chinese army, except there would be no NPCs and you would have to pay for the snowballs with real money. That would not honor the Sixth House and the tribals unmourned. Speaking of the Chinese, maybe we could go outside the USA to China itself, although then the internet would crash from the flurry of comments about Fallout being defined by its 1950s gee golly whiz Americana. And we would enter a dark age followed by real-life Fallout. It would be Y2K, but with angry fanboys. But say that doesn't happen. China has potential, and we could finally find out who shot first, Han and Greedo style. It's China, isn't it? This war was rigged from the start, or maybe it's the aliens, or Vault-Tec, or a legion of ghosts who teamed up with an eldritch horror and the Cabot family via Riley's Rangers to convince Tenpenny to start an international war via, wait for it, No Bark Noonan. Now that's a legit theory. But seriously, the Great Wall would be Hoover Dam pretty much, and maybe the Forbidden City, you know, the place that looks like a Mortal Kombat stage where The Last Emperor was filmed, could be like Diamond City, but it would be bigger than like 10 houses. And an emperor could rule, and we could have a kung fu showdown with him and use dumplings as grenades or something, as Liberty Prime descends out of the blue and squishes him. Then a bald eagle would appear as the American flag waves in the background. All the while, the player character screams, "Fetch yeah, America, you noirs!" Okay, this is starting to sound like weird propaganda. I'm going to move on and forget that ever happened. We will not talk about it ever again. On another note, bring back skills and no voiced protagonist. Bethesda, you need to have a silent protagonist for your own safety. You don't know how rabid the fan base is. Bring a few bodyguards with you. Todd the false god Howard, if you plan to go outside after confirming that Fallout 5 will have a loud-mouthed protagonist. I do not want to select a deliciously evil response only to find out my character has something slightly sarcastic to say. And that's it. All in all, If Fallout is not a masterpiece, which it has to be at this stage, I will cry in a corner while eating sugar bombs. Also, don't get hyped. For this game, it's never coming out. Because Bethesda never change.